never gonna stop.
It's the closest thing I've got left to a family. I'm not gonna let anybody tell me I can't fight for it.
Now streaming on Disney Plus, and upgrade to the Disney bundles for even more.
Well, thank you for joining me out here at the Revolutionary Agenda, the RVA. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm your host, Seduction Doll, co-host of Frontline Black News, and consistent regular contributor to Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Tuesdays on Blog Talk. And you can probably catch me in different podcasts, different platforms. Just moving around. Kind of like to do that a little bit. Well, it's been a minute. It's been a couple of weeks or a week or so, maybe like a week and a half. I don't remember the last time, but had some had some technical issues. It should be alright though. I'm back at my spot, so Thanks for joining me. There's so much to talk about. So much to talk about. So much going on in the world, you know what I mean? I probably would have put this, probably would have put the show out. Let me get my computer, my camera right. Off. Oops. I probably would have put a show out a couple of days ago, but just wasn't feeling it. Just wasn't feeling it. There's so much going on, you know. I just let everybody else do their thing, and just wasn't feeling it. You know, you get like that sometimes where you just you need something. You know, you just don't know what it is, but you need something. You need something, you know. And me, I'm an Aries. My birthday's coming up in 1 month. So you know how we get down. Aries is all fire, top of the food chain. And I'm an April Fool's baby, so it's a whole month of craziness. I cannot wait. Fortunately, I'm probably gonna be doing all my crazy shit by myself because just fun like that. Um, got a couple things planned. Well, I got like one thing planned. I just gotta coordinate with all my buddies. Um, and that should be fun. Mm, other than that, I mean, my birthday's coming up, so about to be. I don't even want to say. I'll be like 42, so not a big deal. I was just looking around. It's not really a big deal. It's kind of it's gonna be all right. So I'm pretty excited about that. Other than that, it's just been stressful. Um, you know, white supremacy, stressful. Lots of things. Just I feel like helpless. Like I want not helpless. Like I can't help nobody, and I want to help everybody, and not like that. But I just want to take control over city council like badly. I just want to do everybody's job. Like just show them, hey, I can do your job better. You know, I'm feeling really competitive lately. That's just natural, I guess. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about city council. As you know, we're in Colorado, and Denver City Council obviously booked 11 people, but only like 5 of them got to speak. I don't know what that was about. It just seemed like that 30 minutes went by quick, and I was at the bottom, and I was just waiting to tear into them. Then I go over to Aurora City Council because they have they were talking about the camping ban, and I swear to you, I waited 4 motherfucking hours to speak. I was in the queue 4 fucking hours, didn't get to speak. I was quite disappointed. Like, why would you even let me sit in there that long? You know what I mean? And city council was fucking lit. It was live like a motherfucker in Aurora. I mean, I think if anybody could have got away with calling Mike Kaufman a motherfucking shitbag and a loser and all that good shit, they probably would have did it that night. And the fact that there was so much fucking police presence inside of there. I mean, a scary ass pretend mayor, the female one in Aurora, the blonde haired one, she's acting all scary and shit, talking about any more outbursts, you know, the policing, blah blah blah, we're gonna stop this, and it stopped nobody from going in. And I was just waiting for my chance to go in because I've been like, that's a motherfucking fake ass Boy Scout if I ever saw one. Oh my god, when he went to the mayor of Aurora, tried to come out and see what it was like to be homeless. Oh man, I was going in on it when I first fucking heard about it. I don't think I stopped talking shit for like 2 months. It was terrible. This motherfucker came out there with a backpack full of fucking essentials and shit, and he's just mobbing around. Fucking, you know, somebody let him in and let him chill with him, only for him to come back and act like a dirtbag and just say everybody chooses to be out there. He's fucking whack. So I'm glad everybody got to speak. There was more. I think there was probably maybe 2, 3 positive fucking thoughts on the camping ban that they wanted to see go through. It wasn't that many, maybe 6. I'm being generous. Everybody else was fuck no, and they opposed it. I was like, God, man, I was in the queue on the phone. There was like 40 people in the motherfucking in the in the hall, you know what I mean? The council area. And they were going in on him. And all I have to say this is Aurora City Council is the most dysfunctional, disorganized, fucking bullshit. Like, their whole city council, mad disorganized. I don't even think the mayor knows when he's supposed to speak or when he isn't. I don't think anybody knows when they're supposed to speak. Nobody communicates with each other. Everybody's confused. You know what I mean? Nobody knows when to call up a certain thing or not to call up a certain thing, when to vote, when not to vote, when to talk about something, when not to talk about it. And what the fuck is all the police people doing there? Granted, I think it's in the municipal building. There's going to be police there. Apparently, there was a lot. It was getting live in there. Let's back it up, though. The Denver City Council. There was a dude on the general comment, and he was like mad threatening the council. Like, he was just like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and what, and they've been trying to do this to me, and you're gonna have to kill me, and woo, and I want $50 million. I was hoping, man. I was hoping it was gonna be like the movies, where he was just going in on him. He was like, I'm telling all your motherfucking secrets, woo, right? And then that's when you just pull out the chopper and just got That would have been like the part in the movie that's where that would happen. I mean, you probably would have got capped. You wouldn't have made it out of the room. But still, I was hoping for something exciting, not like, not death-like, but I mean, something exciting to that point. I was pretty gripping. I was like, ooh, plot twist. Where is this going? You know what I mean? And he's like, and there's such and such, and on this street, and and blah, blah, blah. And he's just straight telling. I'm like, they're like unfazed. I'm thinking, man, please let this be like the movies. He's just gonna, just go crazy. I knew he wouldn't, because you got to go through security. Where do you go in the building? But I was like, man, at least throw something like the phone or kick the stand over or something. It's gonna be exciting for sound effects. And now he's just like, wah, and I'm telling all your business, and and I want $50 million. That's how you're gonna make me go. I was like, shit. This that moment, that pinnacle moment where you just kick over the podium. Like jump up over the little rail where they're sitting at and just get in their face. But like, hey, you know what? You've been making all these wrong decisions, and blah blah blah. Just start pointing at them, like, and you bitch, and you bitch. That would have been classic. I was hoping. I was sitting there like I was watching it because I was in the queue waiting for my turn, and I was like this, like, ooh, please do something gripping. Please do something. Please do something tight. Please make some kind of noise. Stomp out of there. Jump on all the fucking benches and shit. Like punk a motherfucker on the way out. Tell the police to fuck you, eat a dick. Something. Do something. Like other than that. Because it was like he had me right on the edge. I was literally on the edge. He was like, I'm telling all your motherfucking secrets. I said I'm snitching at everybody. They've been looking for me. Woo. I was like, this that point in the movie, if it was a movie, this would be that point in the movie where they're like, and you know what, I'm tired of your motherfucking bullshit. And everybody eat a dick. No, like they didn't even look phased. I was like, you should have kicked something over for sound effect. You know what I mean? It really went in. And be like, yeah, you're gonna have to catch me on the way out, bitches. It is kind of start tripping, kick some white dude on the way out, throw something, you know what I mean? I mean, like, there's plenty of things you could do, like fucking kick over the podium first. That's one thing you could do is kick over the podium. You know what I mean? Rip the mic out or something, just chuck it at him, or do something. I was hoping. I was like, really, it was like, where is he going with this? Even though I was hoping, I was just like, please do something crazy. please do something crazy. Please do something. I mean, you already came this far. Don't give up now. Don't stop now. As a brother, though, I was like, man, you got him right there sitting on the edge of their chair. Don't stop now, homeboy. Just keep going. Go on. Just kick over that motherfucking podium real quick. I hope you got something cool in your pocket you could fucking throw at him. Like, anything. You know what I mean? I'll go to the motherfucking president and be like, you know what? Fuck you, Stacey Gilmore. Kick her chair or something. Do something. You know, you just get up and you're going to see me again. You know what I mean? Oh, man. I was like, whoa. And they just kind of just stood there, phased. Like, next call. And I was like, this is that bullshit. I was really hoping. I was like, man, it is just plot twist. So dangerous, you know? I mean, he came in there. I was like, damn, 50 million? Cause that's a lot. Like, you didn't even rob a bank yet. Could have just started off with, like, 250,000. Enough to get out of jail, fool. Yeah, I was like, man, I was sitting there waiting. I heard a lot of, uncomforting bullshit. And I finally was like, trying to figure out where the sweeps are. I kind of know. So I popped my tire. So we'll see how I'm going to get there tomorrow. I got to back up, but I popped my tire in my dude's house. I don't know. I think something attacked it. I was backing out and I was like, all right, man, I'll see you later. Toodles. Pow. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, damn, man, my tire low? What'd you do? I was like, what did you do? What did I do? Or what did it do? Something happened, you know what I mean? And I was just like, man. It's all veering to the right. Then I tried to, I ordered these motherfuckers like a month ago. Like, come on now. It's okay. Then they got to pull it together. Everything has to do with insurance. And I realized that this shit is real fucked up. So I'm waiting and hurry up and wait. I'm like, man, go find a socket wrench and next ATV I come across. That's it. It's a wrap on their tires. Survival of the fittest out here, motherfucker. I'm just kidding. So I shot over to motherfucking Aurora City Council after the Denver one. Because I was sitting there like, me and, damn, dude, I waited all afternoon to fucking do this fucking stupid ass fucking 3 minutes of talking shit. I had to go over here, and I was like, why is it taking so long? That is the longest fucking city council ever, and like, that's long. Like, God, man, they let everybody and their mama speak. Like 60, 70 people spoke yesterday. I was like, that's cool. Versus 6. The fuck's wrong with you, Denver? Everything was like, look at Denver. There can't be bad. It's a failure. And I was like, goddamn right. Everything they touch is a failure. You could do better. Right. That's their version of doing better. You could do better. Sure. I think they're incapable. Truly fucking incapable of doing better. And fucking the mayor, like, they're so disorganized, so fucking confused over there. I'm like, I wonder if everybody over there is drinking, doing some sort of like fucking smoking mad weed and fucking dyslexic, fucking challenged. Anybody could be anything in Aurora. I was like, man, maybe I have a hope. Maybe I have some hope, man. I was like, maybe I should get up on the city council and just show them what it is. It's like, I have fucking all this intense fire around me. Like, man, I just want to take over everybody. I just want to get up this motherfucking seat, cuz. And just take power. Just take power. Nope. No. And no. I said, no, we're going to vote on yes on this because that benefits the people. No to your shit. What do you need all this money for? Make the math work. No. No. I'm going to have to say no. Nay. And I'd be like, hey, I think you're making the wrong decision, ma'am. Who pointed you to the mayor? Sit it down, sir. Sit it down. You're fucking up the people. Sit down. You couldn't have me in the office because it'd be like that. Any kind of position of power. Like, look, nobody asked you to speak. I don't care if the mic is in front of you. Sit it down. No, we're gonna vote no because the answer is yes for you, and that's gonna cost the city major, major debt and a revolving system that doesn't work. So sit it down. they were like, the people were like, we don't want the police doing this. They're the biggest gang, and I was like, goddamn right. Like, you know what I mean? They're like, I come and terrorize the homeless. I was like, yeah, man. I mean, man, I was waiting to get up in there. I couldn't be in that. I couldn't be, well, they wouldn't let me. Let's just put it that way. They wouldn't let me be in a position like that because I'd be like, oh, that's a wrap. Nope, we don't need you. Sorry, APD. Go ahead and everybody, Colorado is an at-will state, and I'm at will firing every single one of you. I don't care what happens. We'll be all right. I'm sure there'll be. Make sure I put a message out to the universe that no major emergencies for at least a week, so I can get some people up in here that are not the law. You know what I mean? And are just willing to just replace this with a whole system of justice. Mm. Sorry, people, better not commit no crimes. It's an eye for an eye. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn. Not playing. No white supremacy passes given today. Sit it the fuck down. Nope. You might as well not commit any crimes because whatever you do, it's just gonna happen to you immediately as soon as we catch you. That's it. We're not gonna talk about it. No, you did it. That's gonna be that. I mean, so we just don't have you going to commit more and more and more atrocities, killing people. So no, you know what I mean? Like, what about my job, the police department? Fuck you and your job. You should have thought about that before you were a racist. Should have thought about that before you did all this. Should have thought about that before you started terrorizing homeless people and killing and murdering black people. Should have thought about this before you just decided to be a motherfucking tyrant. And now I'm going to show you what it's like. You know what I mean? That's it. It's a wrap. You cannot be reformed. You can't be trained. I don't give a fuck what you say. Give me your badge. Give me your gun. Give me everything. Matter of fact, run that wallet. House keys. You know what I mean? Tell your wife you'll be back and for her to open the door. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? You're not coming back to work and you can't get a job nowhere else. You're fucked for the rest of your life. Tell your family how sorry you are. I'm not hearing it. Like, like, ooh, be the worst person. Like, I just want to, apologize. No, fuck you and your apologies. I said no. You know what I mean? I could have been like, man, especially at Aurora City Council, like they have no order there. There's no structure. Not only that, but nobody knows how to wield their power. Nobody knows how to have authority, you know what I mean? Or be authoritative. And shit, man, nobody would let me. Could you imagine what it'd be like if they let me? Like, sit it down. Man, forget the fuck about your seat. Give me a pen. No. I said no. No, we're going to add this. You're going to open up this land right here, and you're going to give them all this, and they're going to go ahead and move their little tents over here, blah, 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 and da-da-da-da. And you're going to open this place up, and you're going to provide access to bathrooms and showers, and and this group right here is going to go ahead and open up a soup kitchen and feed them, clothe them, and they're going to have a place to sleep at night. There's equally space with their own little foot locker, blah, blah, blah. Going into a transitional housing that takes no less than 3 months. Bam. Done. Well, where's the money gonna come from? Where do you think? Your mother's house. Like, where do you fucking think? It's already there. Just stop spending it frivolously on fucking stupid shit, you know what I mean? Like in Denver, spending millions and millions of dollars for like 4 programs that are exactly the same program. With the same common denominator. Denver Human Services. We're talking about that, huh? Yeah, lots of things like that. So I was just like, man, I'm in Aurora. I live in Aurora, so I'm like, shh. You know that there's like maybe 1, 2 shelters in Aurora? Maybe. Yeah. Denver got more possibilities of shelters. And only really one female shelter. TV shelters don't count. Children, baby children, pregnant women, that don't count. But regular shelters, yeah, like one female shelter that extends to 2 different places, right? But Aurora, I think only has 1, maybe 2, and that's being generous. So where do you think these homeless people are gonna go from Denver? Because those motherfuckers, half of them come from Denver. Why? Because Denver doesn't stop sweeping people. It doesn't stop moving people around. It doesn't stop chasing people off the property. It doesn't stop lying on them. It doesn't stop accusing them of being drug addicts, thieves, and I don't know what else. You know what I mean? It does not. It's repetitive. So, where do you think they went? Aurora, Commerce City. I come to Aurora, you know what I mean? I came to Aurora from Denver. I came in an apartment, but not like the apartment's great or anything. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, my apartment's shit. I don't even got a heater up in this bitch. You know what I mean? And I had to just fight off a 10-day notice or 3-day notice. Yeah, I barely got away with that shit. It's because they were wrong, you know what I mean? What are you talking about? And then I was supposed to move in like a month and a half? Good luck, right? I've ended up signing another year lease. Because A, I can't find a place to live, right? So where do you think the homeless people are going to go? If the house people can't find a place to live, where are the homeless people supposed to go? I'll wait. Oh, available and open sidewalks? Pretty much, right? I mean, if I lost my voucher right now, right this fucking minute, that's what I would do. I would just straight head out to my favorite little locations, and I go put me up a tent, and yeah, grab my power tools, and I start be like, you already know who it is. But I'm fucking moving myself around the city like, know the fuck I am. Stop playing. Like, don't respect me. It's gonna be like that. Come on now. Yeah, I don't even want to think about it. But prepared. Shit, you should be prepared. Anybody and everybody can be homeless in a matter of fucking days. It's ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. What else have I been doing this week? Well, watching TV, binge watching TV. I saw a couple of shows I liked. And I had to rewind power just so I could make sure I caught all 4 seasons, all 4 extra books. So they all linked up correctly. And then that's about it. Listen to music and slept. Watch cartoons. Like fucking anything but to think about this crazy stuff that's going on in the world. You know what I mean? I don't want to fight with nobody, so I just been and you feel like you're not needed, so I wasn't feeling nobody needed me. I just kind of faded into the black. You know what I mean? I kind of went a couple days, chopped it up with my dude. I saw him, I think, this weekend. You know what I mean? It's all one big day, seemed like. Yeah, fought with my brother. Yeah, pretty much it. Read the newspaper. Watched all kinds of podcasts. Watched the news. That's about it. So, let's get into this program. So we're already into it. I think the first thing we're going to take is the camping ban in Aurora. Unfortunately, it passed. Like, these motherfuckers were not listening to the 60 people that were like, fuck no, don't pass it. Learn from Denver, etc., etc., etc. Denver spends way too much money, blah, 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 right? Everything we've been saying. So, what did they do? They passed it. fucking, and the mayor was the fucking defining vote. So he got his way. And we're gonna watch stage right now to put that into perspective. You know what I mean? As soon as I go ahead and get over here. Let's see. All right. Bam. I got the disclaimer up, and we're gonna go right here. Let's see. Let me just make sure I got the right one. I'm gonna give you a little backstory about the mayor and his nonsense. He's just like, like garbage. I swear to God, he's garbage. I'm like, when does his term end? I just didn't figure that part out. Over here, share screen. Go over here. Bam. All right. Here we go.
Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman getting serious about restricting camping in that city. On Thursday, plans to introduce an ordinance that would ban camping. Kaufman is working with the city attorney's office to make sure the ordinance does follow CDC guidelines. He also says, quote, I want to make sure that the proposed camping ban meets the conditions spelled out in court's decisions where camping bans have been challenged and upheld.
Oops. Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. Get this back to where it was. All right. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, he Mike Kaufman, man. It's fucking stupid. Hold on, let me see if I got the right one. I'll show you a little bit. It's like 8 months ago. And he decided 8-9 months ago he decided to propose a urban camping ban in Aurora after his fucking false little vacation out to
Aurora, where despite a growing number of homeless people, the city will not ban urban camping, at least for now. The city's Housing and Neighborhood Services Policy Committee met this morning to consider an ordinance proposed by Mayor Mike Kaufman. It would prohibit unauthorized camping on public or private property in the city.
What the fuck? Hold on a sec. I want to say it's the weather.
CBS 4's Michael Abate has been following the debate. Michael, now we know the ordinance didn't pass the committee, but that doesn't mean it's dead.
No, Jim, not at all. You see, the thing is, a lot of people in that meeting looked at Denver's camping ban and saw a lot of similarities to the one being proposed by Aurora's Mayor Mike Kaufman. That's why 2 of the city council members who were on that committee voted against it this morning. But that doesn't mean Mayor Mike Kaufman is done trying to get the ordinance passed.
I think this is a really, really tough problem.
The city of Aurora is trying to figure out a solution for its growing homeless population. Mayor Mike Kaufman thinks part of the solution is a camping ban similar to Denver's.
I think that it's fair to our residents, but also it's humane.
He says it isn't meant to criminalize homelessness, just get people into a place where they can receive some help.
Nobody's going to be charged with anything for camping in and of itself. It's only if they fail to move following the notice and that there is a designated place for them to go to.
Thursday, the Housing, Neighborhood Services, and Redevelopment Policy Committee met and considered the ordinance, but it wasn't received well.
It's preposterous to call this a proposal to help people. And I'm not going to go along with the charade.
Councilmember Coombs, who is the vice chair of the committee, says Aurora needs to forge their own way forward.
our staff have put together a slate of proposals that they're currently working on that are something different than what we're currently doing.
The Mayor Kaufman says he isn't done yet. He's bringing it to the Public Safety Committee and then to the full council for a first reading vote. Councilmember Coombs says she would rather support other options.
It includes outdoor camping opportunities. It includes potentially building additional shelters. It includes getting people access to supportive housing and affordable housing.
Now, Mayor Kaufman says that he can ask this to be brought to a public vote, but he doesn't want to do that. He wants to work with the city council on this issue. He expects a vote in city council by the end of the month. In Aurora, Michael Aveta, covering Colorado First.
Yeah, so that was just a few months ago. And then you know, like, it was getting live. I'm gonna show you that because that shit was like crucial. The one that's funny is the Denver the Denver one. If they have it accessible, I'm gonna check that out. I'll show you guys how crazy that shit was last night. It's like city council was like crazy.
At Booking.com, finding perfect isn't rocket science. Kitchen sorted.
Been moved by Councilmember Lawson, seconded by.
During this proposal last year, along with the mayor, I said I wanted this to be A-GRIP 2.0, meaning, yeah, A-GRIP had some issues, but
is a pilot program with RTD. RTD wants to know.
Presentation by staff.
Thank you.
No, pass that.
For you.
It has gotten out of hand. You can't even walk your animals anymore. Please vote yes for this. Thank you very much.
So far, that's like one. He's like the first one.
Next is Ryan Hanby.
Keep in mind, family, I was still sitting on the phone waiting. It's like, I've been on the phone already 1 hour and 22 minutes at this point. Because my dude told me
Hello,
at 6. I was like,
Mayor and Council. I want to begin by just saying I've spoken at public comment many times, and I've never seen the amount of police in the chambers or in the room out front as I see tonight. And I see it as a blatant act of intimidation of people who have come here tonight to speak. I can't see it as anything other than that. I want to speak in opposition to the camping abatement ordinance. I want to echo what the first speaker said, that I think it's coming without the proper research being done. There isn't a set point in time count for the number of homeless people that are in Aurora. I don't understand how you can just say that we need to ban homeless people, which is really what this does, bans homelessness outside of shelters, without knowing how many people are homeless in this city. I also think that without a set amount of money that's going to shelters, I don't understand how you can, just sweep homeless people away. I'm not a resident of Aurora. I'm a resident of Denver. I live in the East Colfax neighborhood, and I know that many of the people that became homeless in Denver have moved into Aurora. Right? And I think that
3 minutes.
This is what sweeps do. Like the sweep program in Denver has failed miserably and just continued to move people from place to place. And every time people are moved, they lose.
It just kept going. Like, it was like, oh, let's get to this dude right here.
Good evening. My name is Nate, and I'm an organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation.
We're so happy.
I've lived in Aurora for more than 10 years, and this proposed camping abatement is a disgrace. What makes it even more disgraceful is the mayor's claim that this plan is compassionate.
They were going in on the mayor.
Was this compassion the mayor found after his 1 week stunt pretending to be homeless, where he concluded homelessness is a lifestyle choice? This ordinance is an extra infringement on homeless people. You already spent my money to sweep 80 people just last year. I personally know a social worker in the Denver area whose job is to find employment and housing for people experiencing homelessness. And one of the biggest barriers to employment and housing, she says, is that when her clients lose vital documents like their IDs, social security cards, birth certificates, and immigration paperwork, and phones and sweeps, it delays their ability to connect, apply for jobs, and work on housing by months and in most cases years. I wonder if the mayor were to be on the other side of one of these sweeps and have his life completely uprooted, would he still call them compassionate? Is it compassionate to increase the presence of APD on these people? Did I dream it, or just a couple years ago, did we not watch thousands of people in Aurora flood the streets in responses to the crimes of APD, who are in endless scandals? This is the department that is under a consent decree right now for the unbelievable racism and brutalization that they enact on our people. And how is the solution to give them more money? That just does not make sense. How many poor people of color have APD beaten, brutalized, killed, and abused? Not to mention the city already gives them millions of dollars. And this crooked police department pays out millions and millions of settlements after abusing our community. And they still want to give $6 million more in retention bonuses for police officers. Instead, our money should be used to fund housing immediately for these homeless people instead of killing and brutalizing us. And rather than dehumanizing and degrading poor people, we need to treat them as human. We need to stop the sweeps. They deserve clean, safe, decent, and permanent housing. So we say housing and not sweeps. Vote against this ordinance. Thank you.
Please do not applause. Thank you.
Rarely do they profile Hispanic people.
Caitlin Amick.
I think they do it if they know you're a gang member. But at this point, it doesn't even matter. Just being guilty by association.
I don't see any real solutions for the unhoused community in the 5-point action plan and camping ban. I only see an incredible amount of problems. The camping ban would increase face time between APD and the community, as well as funnel more money into that department instead of using that money for any real tangible solutions for the people and people suffering from homelessness. Any proposal that would encourage additional time policing, aka terrorizing communities, is obviously a dangerous decision for your constituents. A mere 6 months ago, an independent investigation on APD and Aurora Fire Rescue found that they have a pattern and practice of violating state and federal laws. In this proposal, it would increase patrols in key neighborhoods, but the independent investigation found that the Aurora Police has a pattern and practice of racially policing. So we know that that means increased patrols in Black and brown communities. Once they're patrolling those communities, all people become at risk since APD has a pattern and practice of using excessive force. Expanding the practice of police-enforced displacement of homeless people is just bringing more risk of confrontation, fines, jail time, and trauma to an already very marginalized group, and it offers no meaningful support. It was found APD already had a misplaced view of de-escalation, and they don't focus on avoiding unnecessary escalation in the first place. So why would we ever allow a department with such a stained track record to have such a huge role of any anti-homeless measures? And why would we accept such a weak plan from someone who enthusiastically went undercover homeless because that clearly was a classist, repulsive, and disgusting stunt? Vote no, and please find a plan that actually addresses the underlying problems facing the community instead of criminalizing being homeless and poor.
Yeah, that's their answer to everything, jail. And that's how it's going to be.
Ancestry's helped me really understand my family's immigration experience.
Everybody in jail for like
I've been able
6 months.
Dakota Dexter.
This is like a victimless crime being a homeless person or unhoused or vagrant or transient or whatever you want to call it. It's a victimless crime. Who are they really hurting? You know what I mean? They're hurting the aesthetics of their land.
My name is Dakota. I'm with the Party for Socialism and Liberation here in Aurora.
It was in there.
As a resident in Aurora, I think it is appalling that certain council members and even the mayor have the audacity to suggest that the homelessness crisis in this city can be solved with more police and violent sweeps. Just last year, while the mayor was pretending to be homeless. The city conducted 80 sweeps. I have witnessed sweeps up close, and they are violent. How much more violence does the mayor think this community deserves? As every member of this council and even the mayor knows, there is only one solution to homelessness: housing. Not police, not sweeps, housing. Anything less is simply cruelty. Stop playing politics with people's lives. If you care at all about the most vulnerable people in this community, vote no on this camping ban.
Oh, this guy's good too.
Speaking in opposition to the proposed camping ban that you're trying to push through, also just want to note that as an aside that nobody that's been through poverty could ever give any legitimacy to your finding that homelessness is a lifestyle choice, as if your few days pretending to be homeless give you some sort of special insight that apply to the poor and disenfranchised, especially since you live a life of privilege and luxury. That was a vacation for you. And if you really wanted something to prove, you could just go back to Haditha, Iraq, where you were tasked with covering up war crimes as a civil affairs officer. I digress. This camping ban is cruel, it's inhumane, and it's noteworthy that when Mike Kaufman was asked about how shelter might be created to support the resolution, he didn't have an answer for it and said, oh, well, we'll just wait until after the resolution passes or something like that. Now, call me cynical, but I think that you have absolutely no intention of doing anything with regards to social protections for those people. Call me cynical, but I think that the conservative wing of this council just wants to use this in order to hide the larger systemic housing issues in Aurora, you know, of course, to make way to attract private investment and other moneyed interests and things like that.
So much open area,
That's what I think.
Really. I mean, I don't know who owns it, but
You actually have the means to create more social housing to solve this issue. You could do something about the ever-increasing inaccessibility to housing in Aurora. You have the means to expand social protections, vocational training programs, et cetera, more generally, but instead you'd rather commit resources to just shuffling people around endlessly, people who have nothing, and then what, like fining them? You do realize that people don't have anything, right? So when you find them, they can't pay you, right? You do understand that? Just basic logic, right? The problem is that some of y'all just absolutely hate your non-moneyed constituents and you see them as a pestilence instead of human beings who have the same need for shelter and economic security as you do. This resolution will only contribute to further dehumanization of an already vulnerable population and will increase the risk of more violent confrontations and abuses by the notoriously gangsterish Aurora Police Department.
I just want to make a statement that if you could please refrain from personal attacks on any council members or the mayor, and just keep your comments to whether you know, why you support or don't support the camping ban. Thank you.
Another San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, it's incomprehensible. And when it comes to funding, I know the radical leftists in the room don't do their research, but according to KDVR, we spend in the Denver metro area, we spend double on homelessness than we spend on K through 12 education. That is appalling and it is sickening, and I cannot believe that we spend double on homelessness than we do on our children, the future. I am 100% in support of this resolution, and I'd like to thank the APD for all that they do in order to keep our community safe. And I also would like to thank you for having me here tonight. That is all.
He's kissing ass.
Of people who came in here talking about it. That was an interest of the public. Elijah McClain was the interest of the public. And if the people in Aurora want to come in week after week to talk about someone who could have been my brother, could have been my cousin, could have been my dad, and want to come in and complain and say that APD killed someone that looked like me, it is up to you to sit up here and listen to those people, because they're the ones that put you up here. So your comment was ignorant, your comment was not necessary, and your comment was very offensive. And you owe the city of Aurora, someone like me, an apology. And the least you can do is sit up there and listen to comments week after week, because we won't stop fighting, and we'll keep fighting because of comments like that.
If we're going to have disruption, we're going to have to take a recess. And then I'll tell you that then we're going to have everyone not participating in this meeting. So I think if you want your voices heard, please be respectful.
Rory Cavallari.
This bitch is like, I was like, whose fucking mother is she think she is? Like talking to everybody. We're gonna have to take a recess. One more loud outburst. No, you can't do it. Okay, let's go ahead. Oh, this guy right here. This guy. He has some good shit to say.
And one of the most important things that I learned was with the camping ban and with the sweeps.
So he taught you about vampires.
Yeah.
It became much harder to find. And one of the most important things that I learned was with the camping ban and with the sweeps, it became much harder to find individuals who are needing to get services. You know how hard it is to find a bed for somebody? You know how hard it is to find addiction treatment for somebody? You know how fickle it is? How fickle it is as a moment of an addict when they're actually willing to go and get services? And you want to make it harder for these people to do that? The levels of sexual assault in this community, and you want to re-traumatize them by ripping them away from the only place they know in that moment, and then you're going to put them into a shelter and try to give them services in that moment? No, that's not how trauma works. This is not trauma-informed. This is not kind. This is not compassionate. I'd like to quote Matthew 25:40 for you all.
Take. It relies on the expansion of policing.
Failure. Instead of using our resources to provide people with housing, the city wants to push out those who have already been pushed out of their homes and communities. This is not a solution to homelessness. Aurora already conducts homeless sweeps. We can see that this is not an effective nor humane way to address this. They are costly and they have done nothing to reduce the crisis of poverty in Aurora. I've witnessed some of these sweeps myself and they are incredibly cruel. This proposal wants to increase police presence in so-called key communities. Like what was said earlier, APD has a history of racist policing. After all the abuse and corruption we have witnessed at the hands of the APD, how can we expect them to engage peacefully with members of our community? APD is constantly under investigation for brutalizing or murdering people in the city. They already receive over $130 million in funding. The community came together in the summer of 2020 to demand action against APD, and it is an insult to the entire city that we are now seeing these kind of proposals come forward. The fact that we are even having this discussion when there are so many other problems really affecting people, like access to affordable housing and violence at the hands of APD, is ridiculous. This is an injustice against all citizens of Aurora, and we cannot continue to treat the failures of this city with more policing. All of you will go home tonight to a warm bed and food on your table. Many other people in this community will not. The only acceptable solution is to use the city's funds to provide people with stable, secure housing that they have a right to. Please vote no on this ordinance.
She's like, she's going in.
And also was just paid out $15 million of taxpayer money. We pay for them. We pay for their mistakes. They brutalize us, we pay in every way. That's not the only settlement you all have paid out. You paid out, let's see, $100,000 recently to a woman who APD officers hogtied and carried out of her home on a child welfare check. That is how these officers handle child welfare checks. That you paid out $285,000 of our money.
You need to stay on the camping ban.
Oh no, this is related. Thank you, ma'am. And so to a man who APD officers brutalized while responding to a noise complaint. So now you want to send these same officers into the most furthest marginalized communities, our neighbors. They are our neighbors, maybe not your neighbors. You probably live in a fenced, gated community. No. What's your address? On top of the settlements, you guys paid $6 million in retention bonuses. The community does not want to retain them. In fact, if you want to talk about a gang disruption program, let's disband APD. By no means is sending this department into our communities a solution to any problem facing this community. And there are real problems, and you know that because you dressed up not just as a homeless person, but as a homeless veteran, which belies the very fact that this is a choice. Because the fact
I'm sorry, you're reaching your 3 minutes.
Disproportionate number of veterans shows that people go and they face the trauma of being sent to fight a war.
Time,
come
please.
home to no support.
Time, please.
That is the cause of homelessness. Do not support this. And if you do support this,
Time, please.
resistance
Time.
doesn't end here.
Okay, we're gonna
Doesn't end here.
end up having to take a recess. We are going to take a recess and no one else is going to be able to talk. So if you can please be respectful.
Samuel Hoagland.
One more, and we take a recess.
Whose mama does she think she is? I wouldn't have stopped talking either.
You make a great school teacher.
Hello, I'm Sam, PSL. I oppose the proposed camping ban and the campaign to substitute policing for real solutions. Sweeps are not a solution. Sweeps are costly, ineffective, and inhumane, and they only create cycles of misery. I've seen what happens firsthand in Denver. You know, fences go up in the morning, and just people's stuff just gets thrown away. You know, you're not born homeless. It happens overnight. People have jobs. People are in apartments. You know, they can't afford their rent. They miss one payment and they're out. They pack up everything they can into a tent and they think that I'm going to be able to work my way out of this. Like I'll get back up on my feet, but they still have a job. So they go to their job, the fences go up, everything in their tent gets taken out, gets thrown away. They'll lose computers, passports. So it just makes it that much harder. And like the longer you're out there on the street and you just face these injustices, you begin to slowly lose your mind. And that's what happens to a lot of people. And when it gets to that point, it's too late. Denver's just been horrible on this. Please, Aurora, do not follow the same road that Denver has followed. It's kicking the can down the road. A lot of these encampments, the amount of money they spend on these encampments actually could pay for, a month's rent for everyone in the encampment. Enough time to maybe get up on your feet. So that's what I have to say. Please vote no.
Not just sweeping your problems under the rug and calling it a day. And if this camping ban goes through, the resistance will not be limited to these meetings. We will continue to be out here. We will continue to shed light on this because these crimes will not go unnoticed by the community. The community does not stand with this. We do not want to see our neighbors just herded around like cattle. And we will be out there. We will be putting a spotlight on your actions and APD's actions. And we will be making sure that there is public outcry about this. Thank you.
Omen Cross.
Send the APD, and they're gonna sweep me away. And millions more like me all over this country. Because you are setting an example as to whether or not this kind of behavior is okay. So if you sweep me away, I'm gonna die alone with nothing. Or you're gonna have your friends lock me up in jail. Is that what I deserve? So let's go on to option C. Now here's the fun one. In this scenario, you still don't listen. You pass it anyway. But these people, the ones who care, they're gonna save me from your broom. They're not gonna let you kill me. And when they do that, I'm gonna live long enough to handle one piece of business. Because if this council has become so corrupt that you can't see the poison that's in your own heart right now, Mr. Mayor, I officially challenge you for the title of Mayor of the City of Aurora. Because if you will not stand for these people, I will.
Then they had to take a break because she was like, they took a break. They were like, that did
save me from your broom. They're not going to let you kill me.
Well, what happened? He was like, what happened?
Hold the meeting up. So.
Okay, so We are now going to move to the call-in line for more.
I was already waiting. Do you see how
I'm
long
sorry, there was a lot of commotion, I think, but our noise canceling is really good. We heard none of that. So
Okay, sorry.
from our end, you just basically gavelled the meeting out. So.
Okay, so we are now going to move to the call-in line for more public invited. Thank you.
Thank you.
Speaker Kathy, go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Anyway, I waited.
Fine not to exceed $25 in the community.
Has agreed to take the person, and the person has refused to move from the camp. I mean, it's already understood that the city has to provide a shelter option for that individual.
That's correct, Your Honor, and it's excuse me, Your Honor, but before we can even post a camp to abate it, we have to have a shelter option available for that. So this is redundant in that sense.
Yeah, they don't got it.
Okay.
They don't have it.
And the idea that they
didn't have it. They didn't have a shelter option available. They don't. There's only two shelters in Aurora. What are they gonna do, right? Nothing. They're not gonna do shit. They can't. All they're gonna do is take people to jail. That's really where that's at. They plan on taking everybody to jail. It's serious shit. It's like, well, it's gonna be all right. What? No, it's not gonna be all right. Not at all. Not at all. Let's see one more time. Let me share this. No, it's not gonna be okay. They just don't give a fuck. And just like Denver, they don't give a fuck. They haven't gave a fuck.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm the owner of Jamie's Suites, and I'm going to tell you why I insure my business with Next Insurance.
For breaking news this morning, and after more than 6 hours, the city of Aurora has voted to approve a camping ban focused on the homeless. Let's go to Justin Adams. He's live in Aurora this morning with how this new ban will work. But Justin, it needs to pass a second reading first.
Yes, it does, Dom. But before we do get to that, the urban camping ban cannot be enforced unless there were other shelter resources available. Now, campers will need to find, or we need to have designated areas to find food and also shelter. Now, the urban camping ban will prohibit all urban camping on private and public property in Aurora. The city would only need to give a 72-hour notice before coming in and clearing out those unauthorized camps. Opposers of the ban do not believe this is an effective way to help out those who are experiencing homelessness and would like to see a greater investment on affordable housing.
Elected officials who propose camping bans and support camping bans think that if they eliminate the visibility of homelessness, that they're somehow resolving it. However, we know that is absolutely not true. The only way to resolve homelessness is to provide housing, shelter, services. And unfortunately, this camping ban does nothing to provide those things.
Now, the ban passed 6-5 with Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman having the deciding vote. Now, before the camping ban is implemented, it will have to pass that second vote. In Aurora, Justin Adams, covering Colorado First.
Yeah, good luck. Man. Well, they're going to pass it. I mean, they're just like everywhere else. So, yeah, they're going to pass it. It's like, ugh, God, he's garbage. Let's see. What else can we talk about? This also happened last night. Okay. All right. They also at Aurora City Council also brought also talked about the gang program, and I thought that was kind of funny, so I'll bring it back. Miss from Newsbreak, David Heights, he wrote this. Says Aurora brings back gang program. Aurora, Colorado, as much as violence impacts youth in Aurora, the council still can't agree on what to do about it. A majority of council members who identify as conservatives voted Monday to reinstate the city's gang prevention program. The previous council, controlled by Democrats, had instead sold the public on a large-scale investment in the city's youth that would have involved nonprofit agencies. Council members Juan Marcano, Ruben Medina, Alyssa Combs voted against reinstating the gang program. Councilmember Crystal Morel says she does not support the program but voted for it on a technicality. She wants to bring the resolution back to council for changes. To do that, you must come from the prevailing side of the first vote. I feel like we said one thing to the community and now that has changed. Said our youth are not just in gangs. GRIP, supported by Republican majority, the program called GRIP, or Aurora Gang Reduction and Intervention Program, that council minority, the mayor is the tie-breaking Republican vote, and his supporters spoke against reinstating GRIP. This is a dragnet for Black and brown youth, said Joel Northam, who attended the meeting in person and identified himself as a member of the Party of Socialism. He said the program uses a veneer of legitimacy to watch over minority youth. He said some end up harassed by police in the gang databases. Do not throw police at everything. As we all know here, this is not the solution, he said. Our police department is working under a consent decree after the death of Elijah McClain. That means an independent firm supervising the police department. Right. Kaufman became angry a couple of times during the discussion. He repeatedly slammed his gavel. For those of us from Aurora, we follow a code of conduct. No clapping. The mayor interrupted as the speaker declared, "Don't give any more money to these police. That's what I be saying." The crowd interrupted in applause. On one occasion, Moreau told the mayor his gavel banging was obnoxious. Facts. Councilmember Angela Lawson said the program may be expanded. Youth are getting shot every single day, she said. Where were they when the 22 youth in my neighborhood died? Where were they? Like a few months ago. Christina Amparan, youth violence prevention coordinator in the city, said a GRIP previously only focused on high-risk gang members. Most of our violent crime is not being committed by identified gang members. Boner Boy is not traditional gang. Democratic council members said not all youth gang members. One group delinquently known as the Boner Boys exists as an online chat room, said council member Juan Mercado, a Democrat. The gangs are not like the Bloods and Crips, he said. Those opposed to reinstating the gang program noted city staff gave it a lackluster review a few months back. Mayor Pro Tem Francois Bergen took issue with speakers who said the program targets people of color. To say this is against people of color, they're the ones being shot and killed. She said that while she agrees that the root cause of violence and poverty must be addressed, that's a long way away. We need to do something now. GRIP program is a great foundation, and that's why we chose to revert back to its program. Medina said youth program prevention programs need to address the issue of guns. When asked why they carry a gun, some youth will explain they do it for their own safety, Medina said, not because they are in a gang. He noted that the same reason adults are allowed to carry concealed weapons. The gang program ended last year when funding from red light enforcement cameras revenue ran out. Councilmember Angela Lawson has identified new funding for the program. I'm sure she has. I'm sure she has. Let me see, 1 second. Let's see. Okay. All right, we're gonna read this one too. This is good. This is about Denver yesterday. City council. Oh man, let's see if God, I wish I could just find it real quick. If I could, I could show it. That shit was hilarious. Okay. Residents are sharply divided over encampment suites. We're not really. Public comment at the Denver City Council meeting Monday showed the diverseness of the homeless encampment debate. Although some residents blasted council members for allowing encampment sweeps, others praised them and asked for more and more swifter sweeps. Dr. Joshua Burko is a public health researcher, infectious disease physician. The Denver resident called on the city council to halt the sweeps, given the devastating effect on displacing people experiencing homelessness. According to Baracus, the sweep may prove a tipping point in stressing an already burdened healthcare system. He said data shows that when crews displace people experiencing homelessness, the chance of overdose increased 1.5 times. He said research in Boston showed a 12% increase in overdose fatalities there after sweeps. At a time when our healthcare system is overburdened and on the verge of collapse, it is essential to our own survival, he said, ending the sweeps. He urges council to work on solutions to homelessness that don't include sweeps. Race, class, immigration status are an issue. A woman named Maya said the encampment sweeps are a racial issue, a class issue, and an immigration issue. She said it's unfair to treat people experiencing homelessness as a problem when their predicament is the result of failed policies. She said when a city crew destroys tents with backhoes and sweeps, the unhoused remain on the street. The difference is they no longer have a tent to stay warm in. Maybe if we scare them enough or hurt them enough, they'll stop being homeless. Appears to be the city's philosophy, Maya said. Maya said she drove displaced people to crowdfunded hotels. She said she asked an elderly person if she needed anything, and she replied she needs housing. Debate over homeless encampments increasingly takes up the majority of public council comment period of Denver City Council meetings. Only one person spoke Monday on a different topic. Residents praised police for arresting drug dealers. Craig Arfison, who regularly addresses the council, was one of the two people who praised the city for sweeping the encampments. He said the dwellings breed disease, human waste, and prostitution, among other things. Wowzers. Artificers said the city approach of supplying housing before drug and alcohol rehab or mental health treatment does not work. Adopt a zero-tolerance policy toward urban camping, drug use, and trafficking, he suggested. Terry Hildebrand, a resident and business owner of the Golden Triangle, agreed. He praised the Denver Police Department for sweeping Union Station. He said the police worked tirelessly to get unsheltered addicts off the street. Hildebrand said the city should increase its manpower so it's clear larger encampments demand a zero-tolerance policy for the dangerous drug tents. He said people should be arrested and put through drug court. Others need to be involuntarily committed for mental illness, he said. He called having drug addicts living together a fiasco. He said the city should demand the Department of Housing Stability stop giving away free apartments without drug treatment. Homeless with a master's degree. Regular commentator David Hagan said, an alcoholic or addict will only get sober when they are ready. When you go into rehab and get returned to the streets, you're going to use over and over again, he explained. Harm reduction housing first. These things work. Jerry Burton, a veteran, agreed. Once you get them in a house, you address the barriers of the situation they're in. He emphasized people experiencing homelessness needs housing, not tents or shelters. Harm reduction is a philosophy that minimizes damage done by drugs. Even if it does not eliminate them, a person might agree to reduce their drug use. For example, regular council commentator Tess Doherty explained, not all homeless people fit the stereotypes. A white, able-bodied person with a master's degree and I became homeless. Doherty became enveloped in a grief and homeless after the death of her soulmate. Her said as teacher during her week of homelessness, she still had to teach virtually. She said her family allowed her online access. Throw out all of those judgments. Think about the kids, the teacher, the dog. She said she slept in her car for a week before obtaining a hotel voucher. Luckily, I had enough money to cover gas and heat to heat the car. Council police racist. One member spoke on a topic unrelated to encampment sweeps. He called the council and police department racist. He said he wants $15 million in a settlement. He walked away from the podium saying, "Pay me, pay me." He later began talking loudly during the meeting. Council President Stacey Gilmore asked him to stop talking or leave the chambers. Shit was live. I really was hoping, I was really hoping that something exciting was going to happen. I really was. I was like, God, man, hurry up. It's your moment. Yeah, this is like, let's see what else. I don't want to talk about the HIV and AIDS thing because I just don't want to. Oh. 1 second. Let's see. Yeah, they're just giving away millions of dollars right now to create homelessness and let's see. Oh yeah, they named the Denver named Saldate Public Safety Director. Armando Saldate is Director of Public Safety, but the vote was not unanimous. City Council members Candy Sidabaka voted against Mayor Michael Hancock's nomination. She said her constituents do not want Saldate promoted. Saldate has worked 8 years with the Denver Police, currently serving an Assistant Deputy Executive Director. His duties have ranged from senior investigator to supervisor of the Data Science Department. Had been slow to promote police reforms suggested by the Task Force of Reimagining Policing. She said he developed programs that criminalized homelessness, such as SET or the Street Enforcement Team. 6-member SET team patrols areas around encampments. Officers can write tickets for 20 city code violations, including trespassing, sidewalk obstruction, and public urination. Yup, that shit. I told them that was a fucking bad idea. And this guy right here. Let's see. Let me put this up right here so you can see. Let's see. Okay. That guy right there. Right? Oh, it gets worse, family. It gets worse. So basically, he didn't do shit. You know, he's slow. He didn't. My dude presented 112 recommendations, or I think it's 112 or 145. I can't remember. Recommendations to help adjust the police, reimagine policing. And he's like, whatever. But when they sent out the street enforcement team, oh my God, I kept telling them that was a really bad idea. Nobody listens though. Anyway, officers can write tickets for 20 city codes violations, including trespassing, sidewalk obstruction, public urination, and urban gapping. Here we are evaluating him at one of more challenging parts of our history. Subak said before the vote, "I cannot in good conscience support this nomination." She urged Saldate to speak against injustice and to act to remedy it. Member Cashman asked Saldate what he means by public safety through public health, one of his favorite catchphrases. Saldate explained the public health issues such as addiction and mental illness significantly affecting policing. Whew. Reimagine Policing Task Force respected. Saldate said he takes the recommendations of the task force of Reimagine Policing seriously. No, he does not, because it has been over a year since they have said anything. But he will continue to disagree with some suggestions. Saldate said after the mayor nominated him, he called Dr. Robert Davis first. Davis oversees the task force. We would have make ourselves available to have these hard conversations. whatever. He was I only seen him like on one time, like once or twice. Council President Pro Tem Jamie Torres asked Saldate how things would be different under his leadership. Under his leadership. Hold on a second. 1 second, people. All right. So let's see. His staff said he'd provide more accessibility by being out and being seen. His staff also said, hold on 1 second. He said, accountability is something that has always been important to me. Saldate told the council, officers are not robots. They make mistakes. I'm sure they do. Yeah, they, oh yeah, this was, this is, Tuesday. Appears to be a Zoom Tuesday during city council meeting. Oh, this is last Tuesday. My dude. Let's see. Yeah, okay, yeah. So in regards to that other dude, said a woman named TC told the council a Denver police officer sexually harassed her. She filed an internal affairs complaint. She was not happy with the outcome. She urged the council not to confirm Armando Saldate as public safety director. I have been failed by the system, and I have been failed by Armando. Those women who were the non-regulars to talk. The rest speak almost every week at city council. Yep. Oh yeah, there's me. I was having some problems. I was definitely having some problems. Yep. Okay, so we did that. All right, cool. I did have to say this. It was fucking crazy. It was crazy. Like, honestly, really, really, truly crazy. Like, they said we weren't going to be able to speak in Denver City Council because they had to let new people speak. So we just signed up I did sign up. I haven't been motivated lately to be on City Council because I just want to tell everybody that they're cronyism and they're corrupt, and I just can't. It's really hard to contain myself. It is super hard. You know what I mean? Super, super hard. And I can't do it some days. I'm like, God, man, I just want to fucking tell them off. Really tell them off. There's one more thing I wanted to cover. And I wanted to talk about the white supremacists. I mean, they've been just everywhere. It's even getting worse. I think that this shit is going on with the war. So we're gonna watch a couple of different little things. This is like to touch base on when I talked about it recently. Yeah, I touched on it a few weeks back. Where they were in Florida and DeSantis was like just let them run free. It's gonna be the last topic because I have to get off. Let's see. This recently.
All of that fat pocket that was here, that huge pocket, is just gone.
With AirSculpt, there's no
Orlando,
Come on, man.
Florida this weekend. I'm just going to warn you right up front that some of the images and the speech in this clip are gross and they could be upsetting. This contains some anti-Semitic and white supremacist blather that you might not want to hear, or you might not want your kids to hear if you're watching with any kids. So that is your fair warning if you do not want to hear it. But the reason I'm going to show it, even just a few seconds of it, is that it does us no good to pretend that this isn't happening. And if you take a look at just a little bit of this, you will understand why the citizens of Orlando, Florida may be a little shaken up today. This is from News 6 Orlando.
No more Jews. Men and women with neo-Nazi armbands, flags, and posters stood on the corner of this Waterford Lakes intersection on Saturday, shouting words of white supremacist hate. Orange County Sheriff's deputies confirmed this video is part of their active and open investigation into the demonstration. And this part of the video, a fight in the street, investigators say involved the demonstrators and a passerby. Also over the weekend, troopers broke up this demonstration of hate on an I-4 overpass in Orlando, telling News 6 it's illegal to obstruct traffic or hang signs on overpasses.
So that's two overt Nazi gatherings on two successive days this weekend out in broad daylight in Central Florida at the shopping center, over the highway, just out harassing the locals. I'm just going to show you a tiny bit more of that video that's part of the investigation by the Orange County Sheriff now in Florida. Because with this bit that I'm going to show you, you can get a sense of the way they were going after the locals and innocent bystanders, trying to freak people out, trying to provoke people. This is just a few seconds, again, but I will warn you that it is a little gross.
Hail Hitler and what he did. No more Jews. You get the black power, you got white power here. White power. He's a Jew. Look at him. Guess where you're going back to?
Believe it or not, we actually carefully cut that to show you the least vulgar excerpt we could find from that tape, right? It still makes your skin crawl. I will also just note that when the Nazi groups took to the highway overpass,
they're the most.
Before 1980, there were two different Brigham hospitals in Boston that were both Harvard Med School teaching hospitals. There was also the Boston Hospital, highly rated hospitals in the whole world. And a week and a half ago at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, this happened. They had an outbreak of Nazis. This is a neo-Nazi group based in Worcester, Massachusetts. We know that because they put their email address on the threatening flyer that the group handed out at the hospital. Hi, Proton Mail. Your servers are being used as contact information for literal Nazi recruitment efforts in the United States. Did you know? The Nazi group was out in front of Brigham and Women's Hospital a week ago Saturday. They handed out flyers targeting two doctors by name, accusing them of anti-white genocidal policy. And these guys lined up in their little khaki pants and their little matching shirts and their masks. And they held up this big sign, Brigham and Women's Hospital kills whites. Really? The hospital kills whites, kills white people. And so the Nazis are out there in front of the hospital on a Saturday morning defending all the poor white people from the doctors in the hospitals that are trying to kill all the white people. Why do the Nazis think that the hospitals are trying to kill the white people? Where do they get this from? Well, this happened exactly 1 week prior.
With my hectic life, you'd think retirement would be the last thing on my mind. Thankfully, Voya provides comprehensive...
There you go, one more. Apparently, this is.
But I want to say it very clearly and very directly. I believe this election was stolen from Donald J. Trump.
I will never, ever apologize for objecting to an unconstitutional election in November of 2020.
President Trump was right.
The Clintons spied on it.
They were trying to censor us, silence us, cancel us, muzzle us. In fact, they had just told me that because I stood up and objected on January 6th, that I ought to be run out of the United States Senate. I've got news for you. I wasn't backing down then. I haven't changed my mind now.
Such a tough guy, that Josh Hawley. Those are the Republican stars of this weekend event known as CPAC, firmly planted in an entirely alternate universe of the big lie cult. And while the MAGA rally atmosphere has become the mainstream for the Republican Party, it's all essentially interchangeable. The real vanguard of the conservative movement was at a competing adjacent event. This one organized by an avowed white supremacist called the America First Political Action Conference. You could call it a fringe gathering, except for the fact that 2 sitting members of Congress were a part of it. Republicans Paul Gosar of Arizona and Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia. Now listen to what Nick Fuentes, the anti-Semitic white nationalist leader of the conference, said just before introducing his special guest, Congresswoman Greene.
And you want to know the secret? To borrow a phrase from a friend of mine, our secret sauce here, it's these young white men.
Hell no.
That's what we call the secret ingredient. America and the world has forgotten about them, but not us. You know, they say about America, they say diversity is our strength, you know. And I look at China and I look at Russia. Who can we give a round of applause for Russia? Yes.
Great white supremacists.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
White supremacists.
Absolutely. Well, that's the podium that Marjorie Taylor Greene then appeared at. And today she started feeling the heat. She tried to pretend she had no idea who the white supremacist guy was or what he stood for. But you can see from her speech right after his that she knew exactly where she was.
You know what it's like to be canceled. And that's why I'm here to talk to you tonight. I don't believe anyone should be canceled. I don't believe in separating people and identities. I don't believe in separating people in classes, but that's what the Democrats believe in because that's what Marxism is. That's what communism is.
This bitch is right.
Members of the conservative movement are now, well, they have been for a while, but at this place explicitly normalizing white supremacy. They're in a venue with the leader expressing explicit solidarity with Vladimir Putin as he launches an offense that has shocked the world's conscience. At the same time, and this is a sort of weird aspect of the ideological moment, many Republicans, conservatives are saying, well, this is all Joe Biden's fault. It wouldn't have happened on Donald Trump's watch. And here's the thing, they're probably right. That's next.
They're probably right. Hell no, they are. This shit is fucking crazy.
Or white people from the doctors and the hospitals that are trying to kill all the white people. Why do the Nazis think that the hospitals are trying to kill the white people? Where do they get this from? Well, this happened exactly 1 week prior.
The left is now rationing life-saving therapeutics based on race, discriminating against and denigrating, white people to determine who lives and who dies. If you're white, you don't get the vaccine, or if you're white, you don't get therapeutics. If you're white, you have to go to the back of the line to get medical help. Think of it. If you're white, you go right to the back of the line.
Think of it. If you're white, you go right to the back of the line. That was Trump speaking Saturday the 15th. It was Saturday the 22nd, exactly 1 week later. There's the Nazis outside the hospital in Boston with their big sign, "This hospital kills white people." reporter for GBH News, which is an NPR station in Boston. Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin.
With my hectic life, you'd think retirement would be the last thing on my mind. Thankfully, Voya provides comprehensive solutions and shows me how to get the most out of my workplace benefits. Voya helps me feel like I got it all under control.
Voya, well planned, well invested, well protected.
Why? Because he's just not.
How's things going in Florida these days? In addition to this rash of Nazi incidents, in addition to the Nazi incidents themselves, it's kind of a follow-on scandal that's now simmering in Florida involving Florida's Republican governor, Ron DeSantis. When the Nazi group showed up in Central Florida on Saturday, right, screaming anti-Semitic abuse at people and beating up at least one Jewish passerby, and then the Nazis showed up the following day on those overpasses as well. And this was upsetting, right, in Central Florida. And local and state leaders, Democrat and Republican, they all rushed to condemn the Nazis, one by one. The local mayor, the sheriff, members of Congress, Florida's Republican U.S. Senator Rick Scott, they all volunteered themselves. They all came forward and condemned the events in no uncertain terms. But from the governor, it's been a little weird. The only initial response from Florida's Republican governor, Ron DeSantis, was this tweet from his press secretary saying, quote, "Do we even know if they are Nazis?" Yeah, they volunteered that they are. And also the swastika banners help with that. She's since deleted that tweet. You'll be happy to know that after that wobbly start to this whole crisis, Governor DeSantis did finally get around to addressing the Nazis in Orlando issue. Here's what he said.
Please respond to the Nazi demonstration in Orlando over the weekend. Why do you feel hate groups were so?
So what I'm going to say is these people.
I'm just going to stop that there for a second and say what I'm going to say is these people. Right. You can sort of guess where he's going, right? What I'm going to say is these people. What do you think he's going to say next, right? What I'm going to say is these people, these neo-Nazi hate groups, they have no place in our society, no place in Florida. I condemn them in the strongest terms. Like, you figure that's what he's going to say, right? You figure that is where Florida's governor is going with that statement. Because, I mean, that is the easiest, most straightforward question an American politician can get, right? Please respond to the Nazis. Right? That's like a long, slow softball right over the plate. Are you ready? There's only one right answer to that, and you shouldn't have to memorize it. It's an easy one. Please respond to the Nazis. That's what Ron DeSantis was asked. And he starts off, so what I'm going to say to these people, what do you think he says next? Here's where he went with it.
So what I'm going to say is these people, these Democrats who are trying to use this as some type of political issue to try to smear me as if I had something to do with it, we're not playing their game.
Not going to play their game of condemning Nazis? Because that's a Democrat game that you don't want to get dragged into to muddy yourself. I am not kidding when I tell you that Florida's governor, Ron DeSantis, his answer continued for another 2.5 minutes, in which he talked about Joe Biden and inflation and immigration and crime. He even talked about Airbnb, but he never actually got around to condemning the Nazis.
And he's not going to. You know what I mean? He's just not going to. He's not going to. It just keeps getting worse and worse. And now that we got this thing going on with the Ukraine. Anyway, family. It was fun. I just wanted to show you guys what happened yesterday with City Council. And show you the stuff about the supremacists. Seem to be everywhere. Motherfuckers have been talking about that they were coming down with the truckers from Canada. Just kind of like that. Well, the supremacists were definitely happy about the truckers coming from Canada, and there was stuff they were showing like symbols, etc., etc., etc. And then with their anti-blackness over there in Russia or in the Ukraine. Not letting African students, flee the country during a time of war, it's pretty much evident. I mean, there's just a lot of neo-Nazi Book of Return to Hitler type shit going on the news. So we're gonna sit this out for sure. Nothing as it's like, you know, them. They need to work that out. You know what I mean? Let them fight that out. I have more to come on it, but I'm gonna go right now because I need to eat something. Well, I don't know, get an attitude or something. I get moody like my pops. Anyway, I'll be back here shortly for another episode of the RVA sometime in a little while, like an hour or so, as soon as I get myself together. I'll be back. Now I have some more to talk about. I think I want to tackle a couple issues. So we'll see where it goes. Thank you for joining me here with the RVA. I had a pretty decent time actually, and glad that we got to do that. Spend some time together and shit, and I'll be right back here in about an hour or so. So tap in, watch, whatever. Should be fun. Just be back in a little bit. I just gotta handle my business real quick. You know? So thanks for watching the Revolutionary Agenda. Tonight is also Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Blog Talk. Let me see. Yep. So feel free to call in. Press 1, obviously, and yeah, just call in and press 1. We're also running a small little fundraiser to make sure he stays on the board. So if you can, it'd be tight if you donated. If not, it's cool. Don't worry about it. We got him. He'll be all right. Yeah, you know. But it'd be nice if someone could help us. If not, universe got us. So stay black, stay dangerous, be one. Hold your vote. It's nothing tangible until they cut the check. So we'll see you here shortly in about an hour or two or something like that. So yeah, thanks for watching. And let me get out.